lip, he don't mind just the shine. But if it's a color, he be like, oh Lord. But he knows if it makes me happy, then he's happy. Because then he know he gonna be happy. But, we as women, just think about it, ladies. 2021 is a new year, especially now. Come on, y'all. Half of y'all at home. Half of y'all don't have to go out to work like you used to. A lot has changed. So you can become yourself. This is the perfect time to become you. And I promise you, ladies, I promise you, God is a witness. If you have been looking for a mate or waiting on Mr. Right, you know where he's at? He's on the other side of that makeup. He's on the other side of that mask. I promise you he is. He's on the other side of you just being who you are. Think about it. God created you for him, right? Y'all soulmates. That's my brother, y'all. We gonna put him on blast. I'm putting you on blast because I'm on my podcast and you done tuned in a day early. I know. Let me call you back. All right. I was talking to him before I started the podcast and he had said he was going to call me back, but we say that sometimes when we don't, so I didn't expect it. God created you for him and him for you, right? Y'all soulmates. But God created you for him a certain way because God knew that that's what he wanted and he liked. But here you are now masking that and camouflaging what he is, what God knows he's attracted to. So he's gonna bypass you. He looking for you. He right there in front of you. That's why some of y'all, I laugh because a lot of us, you come back around, you be like, man, we've been knowing each other for years. Like we lived in the same neighborhood and I never saw you. Or we lived in the same area, the same city, and our paths never, no, they probably did. You just didn't look like what God had him to match with. He was looking for you, not the you was trying to portray. Not the perception of what you thought he wanted. So you got to think about this, ladies. Sometimes we are our biggest hindrances. And sometimes we are blocking our blessings by what we think that they thinking or what they want. When that is not what they want. So you got to be real and you got to be you. And as my girls always say, you got to be authentically you. Because that's who he's looking for. That's who he wants to spend the rest of his life with. That's who he's trying to attract so he can keep. Okay? Now, I know we ain't been in the book. I've been freestyling, but I'm telling you, this is good stuff. Okay, let's go back. It says, I know many women that put on too many extras when dealing with a man and end up turning him completely off. Let them get to know the real you. Just think, I captured my fiance's heart over 20 years ago by just being me. A little square nerd with big glasses and thick white socks. Yeah, she was a nerd. Wearing nothing but dresses, skirts, and skirts, as they call them. Next, just take one day at a time. Do not be in a hurry. Relax. True love is not going anywhere. I have heard it also said that love can wait. Lust cannot. Ooh, that right there, that'll preach. Love can wait and lust cannot. Ooh. Yeah, love gonna be there. Love will stand the end of time, the test of times. Lust is trying to hit it and quit it. Try to in and out. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. I have heard it also said that love can wait, lust cannot. Give love time to develop. Pray with them, encourage them, support them, uplift them, be positive, and see the good in them. Now, one thing I do want to say there is be positive and see the good in them. That part, we're going to stop there because that's very important, okay? And if you are not in a relationship, let me help you out now. If you start out encouraging, uplifting, being their number one fan, their biggest cheerleader, once you get with them, stay that way. Don't become then their biggest critic. Like, it happens. I don't know if it's just human nature or what the issue is or what the problem is, but that happens a lot. And so what needs to happen is we need to remain consistent and because remember, that's what drew them to you. That nature of supporting them and having a back and, you know what I'm saying, being there when nobody else was. You have to remain that throughout the duration of the marriage. It should be the beginning should just be was a glimpse of what they have to live happily ever after with you with. And that's how you can make it. Your fairy tale can start from day one and continue on and get better and better and better. I have to stop here, y'all, for real though, and say, me and my husband, this pandemic, I don't know about your relationship, but I'm about to get a little choked up. It has truly brought us closer. I love this man more now. Like, and I'm gonna be honest. Before, I knew, and I would say to myself, he loves me a hell of a lot more than I love him. And that wasn't a bad thing, but it was a thing where I knew his heart was just like, I think I was still, I'm getting passionate, y'all. That's why my voice is getting raised. I just was on a Zoom and we were talking about this with women, my sisters. When we get passionate, our voices elevate. But I had been through a lot. I dealt with some things. I really didn't know who I was, and I was still learning myself. I want to say I knew who I was, but I wasn't allowed to be who I was, right? Raised in a very traditional, strict, religious home, then get out of that home and get into a married home where it was kind of trying to be another controlling environment. So then I got out of that and I became myself more. The friction, the iron sharpening iron, the contrast, the negative, everything, it was showing me not just what I didn't want, but it showed me what I wanted. It wasn't showing me who I wasn't, it was showing me who I really was. And so the more I dwelt on that, the more I figured out when I looked myself in that mirror that day and said, who are you? Saw my lips moving but didn't recognize the face that was saying it. I said, no, who are you? What do you like? From head to toe, how do you want to look? What do you want to wear? How do you want to dress? I had to figure that out. And a lot of times, ladies, you got to do that. You got to have that heart to heart with yourself. And so when I did that, and then coming into the new marriage, still I was doing it, but yet I was still now connecting with another person's energy. So, and then I had, of course, society. I had friends, I had family, I had mentors, and everybody, their opinions, their advice, their word from God, I mean, you got all of this around you, but then you got your deep heart desires, and it's all colliding and flipping around and vibrating and jumping against, bouncing off of, and you trying to figure out, okay, but what do I like? Is this what's going on? And I never forget in the past, I said, just shut up. I said, you, and I did my hands like a duck quacking. You all in my ear. I just need you to shut up. Like, it's too much clutter. Like, and sometimes people will they will keep all that going because they don't want you to have time to think. They want to keep the frustration going because they don't want you to have that time to exhale and get your thoughts together. Sometimes you got to move yourself from a situation so that you can clear your head and get your thoughts and think and breathe. You need that in life, ladies. Men, you need that. You may have to pack a bag and go for a day or two to just breathe. Think. If you can't stay in another room and she in another room and she not, get a bag and go. Sleep in your car. Just breathe. Because we would have a lot less cases, a lot less caught cases. You know how the saying, I'ma catch a case. You'd have a lot less that. A lot less restraining orders if we would take those moments to separate and breathe. It's okay to take that time. Don't let nobody make you think, no, you gotta stay in a fight. No, you know. That's the problem. That's why kids getting mixed up in stuff and getting taken and put in foster homes and group homes and all that. Because y'all fighting. Sometimes you got to back off and breathe. And so I had to, as I was gradually learning that and developing myself, and then God, like I said, God did a quick thing, y'all. When I tell y'all, I had started calculating. I said, okay, my son is 2. He'll be 19 and 18 in how many years? Oh yeah, I could be single for that long. I had it planned. My husband was not in the equation in my thoughts, y'all. That was all God. I promise you. I had started mapping out. But God knew. And really, I look back in my heart, I'm a nurturer. I'm a lover. That's just me. But life makes you hard. Like, life makes you callous sometimes. We allow life to make us put that wall up, especially when we don't know how to deal with the contrast and the people that we have had to deal with. I didn't know, because I was never allowed to know at the time growing up. So the last 5 years, it'll be 5 years in August with us, our marriage, but we've been together now probably about 9 going on 10. It's been beautiful. Like, I cannot complain. It's amazing. And like I said, this pandemic is just drawing us closer and closer, because once again, and a lot more, I've been able to shut out, which I didn't even have to. God shut out my environment. You had to distance. You had to social distance. So God allowed that to happen so that I could see it really ain't him. It's really not me against one another. It's me against myself. It's him against him. And then it's the world outside combining in the middle of that, and we trying to figure it out. So I've been doing a lot of self-development, a lot of healing. And it started before now. That's why this, I think, is so perfect. It's almost like the 2 years before the pandemic was like my dating phase to myself. I was getting to know myself, learning, getting all the kinks out. And then when I said I do to myself, I surrendered to myself. The pandemic hit, and now I'm in the honeymoon phase with my husband all over again. So it's beautiful.